Yes, sir. We are back. Princeton Barty, your favorite show. Sorry for last week, man. Had a lot going on, but trip, don't fret. We coming back with 2 episodes per week now. Two per week. We sorry for the delay of the last few weeks, but we here. We're back. This episode 132. How you doing, good brother?
I'm ready, man. Ready to chop it in. Let's talk. Barty report, holding the court with Prince. Everything that's sports. Let's knock it out.
Let's do it, man. But like they was making fun of me last time when I was singing my white boys. Salute to Jason Sehorn, man. Cooper DeJean, all the greats we spoke on, man. But what I want to talk to you about is the Three Amigos, man. I ain't talking about the old movie. I'm talking about Laravia. I'm talking about Reeves. I'm talking about Doncic. But those are my three favorite white boys in the world right now. We had a tough loss to Atlanta the other night, but just overall, I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm loving JJ's rotations. I'm loving Aiton's just Aiton got a will to win now, man. He feels that he's in a great position playing with all-time great players. And I think he's prime, man. They're ready. I like that they're winning without Reeves might be out. Doncic might be out. LeBron is obviously out. So they're finding ways to win, and JJ's finding ways to make it happen with a rough start to the season. Second in the West. What are your thoughts on the Lakers so far?
Lake Show is predominantly the Utah Jazz. I see JJ Reddick as Jerry Salone. I see Luka Doncic as a rich man's John Stockton. Austin Reeve, a rich man's Jeff Hornacek. Laravia is Isley coming off the bench. Then we have Austin Carr and Jackson Hayes. We have Ostertag and Aiden. And then when LeBron comes back, we have the mailman. They are predominantly the second best team in the West. I don't care what anybody has to tell me. They look good. They're playing good. There is a newfound joy in Los Angeles. And, we used to say, well, them and the Clippers are like up and down. But right now, it's clear cut that they are the best team in Los Angeles. And there's nothing you could do with them. So I see the Utah Jazz that played Michael Jordan 2 years in a row in the finals.
No, I agree, man. What I often think about is great players, right? I feel like a great player, you could put him in any situation as a starter, a closer, off the bench. Let's go through the history. Let's look at Jason Kidd, obviously top 5 greatest point guard to ever walk God's earth. You know, During later in his career, what he get? He got a corner 3-point shot. He came off the bench. He hustled. He became one of the greatest role players to ever live, helping Dirk get his title, against the Miami Heat. Right? So I'm looking at Russell Westbrook doing this thing off the bench, starting. They're still effective in any role they are in. Now we talk about the dunker spot. A lot of people, famous dunker spot people, Amari Stoudemire, Stromile Swift, Aaron Gordon's probably the best in the world right now at that dunker spot. They see somebody who's kind of rolls to the rim, gets it off the rim, back cuts, runs the floor, easy buckets, just head up, easy buckets. Funny enough, Anthony Davis was in that spot when he was with Boogie Cousins in Rondo. But LeBron James, man, LeBron James could be the greatest dunker spot player of all time. What are your thoughts on LeBron just coming in, not really messing up the flow, but just finding his way? Because he's one of the smartest players to ever live. How can LeBron insert himself into what's already rolling as far as the Lakers?
If he doesn't mess with whose team it is, now he needs to take a page from Dwayne Wade's book. Take a page from what Clyde Drexler did with the Houston Rockets, where you know whose team it is. It's Luka Doncic's team. So let Luka be Luka. Let Reeves be Reeves. And I know you're used to being maybe even the second option, but now LeBron needs to slide down to the third option. Let Austin Reeves get the ball. And then they feed you. And one people always would say if LeBron ever had a post game, he's the GOAT. Now, of course, you know me, I think he is the GOAT, but there would be no argument because his post game will be as dominant as Kobe, as Michael. We saw Michael as the GOAT when he had the post game. Kobe fought the GOAT argument because of his post game. And that's what he needs. He needs to get that signature post move. Maybe it's a hook shot. Maybe it's the up and under. Maybe it's the footwork like Kareem or the sky hook. He needs to do something as Akeem Olajuwon would do. But we just need to see LeBron move into that dunker spot, move into that third wheel spot, and allow the Los Angeles Lakers to give OKC the biggest threat they've had in these last 3 years.
No, I agree, man. LeBron in that spot, LeBron playing with that second team, he dominates the first team. So LeBron playing against that second team is like him playing against a JV squad. He can pretty much do what he wants, bully ball all day. So we'll see how JJ Reddick kind of prioritizes Bron's touches with the offense already rolling, man. But let's get into this Barty report. A lot of talk about with NFL, man. I want to talk some fantasy with you, talk some things that I'm seeing, man. But we talk offline a lot about parity, man. You were like, "Yo, Prince, this might be one of the craziest NFL seasons of all time," just because I know obviously Eagles always got a puncher's chance, regardless of what. Patty's always in the mix, but we're saying like anybody could realistically win it. It's wide open in our both divisions. So talk to us about what you're seeing. What makes you think like it's wide open as opposed to other years?
It's wide open because in the AFC, we're so used to seeing the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Kansas Chiefs in the field. Now, they've lost again to Buffalo. They don't look like the same team that they were before. Injuries are a problem. Andy Reid is reverting back to his Philadelphia days where he's not running the ball as much because he has, if not the greatest quarterback of all time. So he just wants to chuck him up. You look at Kelsey being a shell of himself. You look at the receivers that he has. They're good receivers, but mind you, they're not a clear cut number one. They're not a Justin Jefferson. They're not a Puka Nakua. They're not a Jackson Smith and Jigba. You don't have these type of stars at the wide receiver position for Patty. So Patty has always been that magician, Houdini. He's just doing the best he can with what he has, pulling rabbits at the hat, card tricks, great escapes, great comebacks. This is what Patty has to do. And this leaves the AFC wide open. People are saying even with the start of the Ravens can still make the Super Bowl. They can make the playoffs. They're saying Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers have a shot. I mean, honestly speaking, the favorite is still the favorite, which is the Eagles. And we'll jump into the talks about the Eagles again because I got some things that's grinding my gears. But when you look at the NFC, even with the injuries, Green Bay has a healthy shot. The Rams, Stafford is playing at an all-time high. You look at the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots and Mays, Drake May is balling. So you look at all these teams, and you can say any one of these teams can make it to the dance, which is the Super Bowl. Now, can they win it? That's another thing coming.
No, I agree, man. Obviously, last week, NFL free agency, a lot of key moves. But, when you look at all the moves that were made, what were Super Bowl making moves or I guess taking the team to a next level making moves? We know some good players got traded, but when you look at when the smoke cleared, what players stood out to you, for that team to take the next step?
There's actually four moves. Philly made three moves, and the Colts made one. Colts picked up, if not one of the top five best cornerbacks in the league, and put it on a team where they know their quarterback is not the greatest quarterback, but he can be a great game manager, as we saw Brock and Garoppolo was in San Francisco. With the defense they have, with the cornerbacks, you add Sauce Gardner to that defense. Now you're looking at possibly a favorite in the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC. And in the NFC, we know what Harry Roseman does. He is probably the greatest GM. He's in the conversation for the greatest GM of all time. He picked up Michael Carter, picked up Jaire Alexander, and then finally he added Jalen Phillips to a D line that wasn't getting that many sacks. Secondary was ranked maybe top five in Pro Football Focus, but the front seven, besides Zach Bond, was ranked in maybe the last 20. It was ranked maybe 21st. Now you add Jalen Phillips to a D line of Jordan Davis, and they get Nolan Smith back, the one that sacked Patty Mahomes four times in the Super Bowl. And they still have that big man in the middle in Jalen Carter. And now you have Jalen Phillips, who was drafted by Vic Fangio. So now you look at this defense and you have a front four to back up Zach Bond, to back up Campbell, to back up all the pieces they have at linebacker. And then they added two corners. One corner who used to be an all pro every year. He was basically in the conversation for one of the greatest cover corners in the league now. And you add Michael Carter, who's a good third corner, to be the fourth corner alongside Cooper DeJean. Right now, there's no argument. The best cornerback tandem, the best quarterback four is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Nah, I agree, man. Come on, man. Speaking of that, let's stay with GMs, right? So my fantasy GM question to you is, I was watching the Cardinals play. Obviously Jacoby Brissett is in for Kyler with the foot injury, but they look good, man. Cardinals look good. Marvin Harrison Jr. is looking a lot better, more confident. It
Hmm.
flows real smooth with Jacoby, man. He's a seasoned quarterback, man. Obviously had some great years. We thought he was gonna be the quarterback for the New England for a long time, to be one of Brady's,
Hmm.
like, longtime replacements. It didn't work out for, whatever reason, but for what it's worth, Jacoby Brissett has had a solid career in the NFL, both as a starter
Hmm.
and backup. So nothing's different right now with how he's leading that, team. But my
Hmm.
question is a GM wise, right? What do you do in that situation? You're paying Kyler a bunch of money. You're gonna have to pay he's up for probably another deal soon. And Jacoby Brissett I'm not sure what he's making, but he's not making what Kyler's making. As a GM, how do you navigate that when the backup is probably the best player for your team? It happens in every sport, but in that situation, what do you do?
Well, when you really look at the situation, number one, it's really up to the head coach and what he wants to do. You're in a division also where you're the fourth best team in that division. So I don't think even with Brissett, that makes you a championship squad. The 49ers have 3 losses, Seattle has 2 losses, and the Rams have 3 losses. So you look at these teams and you put it together and you say to yourself, well, what is the plans moving forward with our team? Because right now we're in a division was probably the best division in football. Used to be the North. It used to be the NFC East. Right now you have the modern day Jerry Rice and Joe Montana and Sam Darnold and Jigba. You have the modern day Peyton Manning and Matthew Stafford. And then you have the coach, the guru coach of the 49ers that I could put Mac Jones in. I could put Brock Purdy in. I could lose Debo Samuels. I don't even have a healthy great wide receiver tandem, and I'm still winning football games. That shows the offense and the defense of the San Francisco 49ers. And so right now for the Cardinals, their best bet is I would get rid of both quarterbacks and go to the draft. Maybe get Arch Manning next year, but you need to figure it out because moving forward in that division, Prince, if I was an Eagle fan, I wouldn't even want the Eagles in that division. If the Eagles was in that division, you're hearing it from me first, they wouldn't have 2 losses. They probably maybe have 3 or 4 because that's a great division.
Nah, say less, man, but let's get into this baseball talk real quick. Just a quick reflection, man. LA Dodgers, because we didn't get a chance to talk about that. Back to back champs. And it made me think about kind of, a lot of people say the Marlins championships are bought. So my thought is, obviously Steinbrenner back in the days, he was known to get everybody make all-star teams, Hall of Fame rosters, and things of that nature. Why do you think the Dodgers are doing it and they're able to do it better? Because a lot of the players are getting, yeah, they're big names, right? But they mesh well versus like I know, you could get a bunch of players together no matter how big the payroll goes, but chemistry is chemistry. How have the Dodgers as an organization been able to just make it work? It's, it's kumbaya, it's us peace and love, and everybody's uniting for the goal of winning a World Series.
Baseball is a much longer season, like the NFL. I mean, like the NBA is, and so there is an off season, but the off season isn't as long. So you're gonna want to go to a team where it's good weather, it's a good background, there's a lot of beautiful women. There is the it factor in Los Angeles. And so Los Angeles is able to get people because it was the same thing for New York. People wanted to go to the Yankees because Yankees had the money. When you look at the Dodgers right now, the Dodgers have the it factor. They have Magic Johnson. They have Mookie Betts. They have Kershaw. They have Utani. I mean, they just have everything because it is the place to be. Of course, Toronto should have never lost that series, but the better team won. And so as you move forward in baseball, what can you do but take your hat off to the LA Dodgers? They won the championship. They are a dynasty. And look at your boy Magic. More rings than anybody who's ever had rings in any sport.
It's I think Magic's my guy, man, for multiple reasons. He's a mogul, man. Magic is a person I learned from in terms of the old story where he was with Jerry Buss. He was pretty much hanging out with his boss, and The players didn't like it, and Magic told him straight up, like, "Hey, he's a billionaire. You guys aren't." You know, a lot.
Yep.
It take a lot of balls to tell your teammate. People to call you teacher's pet, suck up, you D Ryan. But he was like, F all that. This dude has something in a life I want. So I'm gonna be around him and get all the knowledge. So that's why I respect Magic on a different level of, Magic Johnson theaters. The Dodgers, Lakers stuff is cool, but bringing Starbucks to Lauderdale Lakes, as we know, clearly off of 441, that was Magic's. You know what I mean? So we familiar
Mhm.
with Magic in Broward County. He been giving back out here and everywhere else, obviously LA. So I look at Magic as like, man, Magic is a guy who's always in the right position. Like he knows the right guy, the investment group that's coming together. Like, hey, let's get this money together. Obviously, he's a part owner of the Commanders as well. So when it's all said and done,
100%.
man, when it's all said and done, Braun and Jordan can live off the sneakers and stuff. But Magic out here really owning like entities. You know what I mean? I think Magic gonna be worth about 20 billion in about 5 to 10. It's been cool to watch his journey, man, but 26 million viewers for that World Series, man. 26 million versus what? Let me see. Let me get the exact numbers for you. 26 million for game 7, 16 million for game 7 for the NBA finals. So, it goes to show you that this World Series, people was locked in and just ready to watch it. But let's get into some hoop talk, man, NBA talk, holding court with Prince. Quick topics, man. John Morant, your boy John Morant is back in the business, back in the news, just not happy with the offense, the new head coach. It was an issue with Taylor Jenkins last year, just in terms of the ball stick, and they want the ball to move around. Ja is a very ball dominant guard. You know, his percentages, he hasn't become a better shooter. Let's call it what it is. He's not the Stephs, the Dames, because he can never shoot like him. He's more of the Iverson volume shooter, but volume shooting doesn't work in today's NBA. You got to have a skill set, or they just gonna let you shoot that whack jumper all day. But just looking ahead, where could John Morant go? Because my thing is, you got to give up a lot to get him. So, what situation, as far as a team, works best for Ja?
Maybe the Miami Heat, but he is such a troublemaker that I can't really see him stay and work the Heat way. I want him to have a better future, but he also has to show that he's going to be a better player and give more to the game. I don't think that he's one of those guys who's always at the court trying to better himself. When we talk about Kobe Bryant left everything on the court. Michael Jordan in his prime left everything on the court. I think Ja leaves things sometimes in the club or on his IG post. So it's crazy because I don't think a lot of teams are going to want to really mess with him, even in the trade right now, because of his antics off the field. So it's going to be interesting, man, going forward. But we just have to see going forward what's going to happen.
Well, I want to ask you about this, man. This happened. So it went viral, man. Draymond Green, salute to Draymond Green and the Draymond Green podcast. He said that pretty much saying Dak Prescott is trash. And I know as
I
fans,
saw that.
you saw that, right? But as fans, we could talk all day and
Yeah.
chat and even on the show. But if you're Dak, you gotta feel crazy. This is Draymond Green, a Hall of Famer. Like he not no internet troll trying you. This is like a declarated defensive player of the year, world champion, a colleague and a peer as a professional athlete calling you trash. Isn't that it's kind of wild, man? Like what was your thoughts on that situation?
Draymond wouldn't know what to do with a football if it hit him in his face. One person said something that made sense, and it was Michael Irvin. It takes them 7 games to win a series. 7 games. And then you're the third. In some championships, you were the fourth best option. In others, you were the third. Are you a winner? 100%. Are you great on defense? 100%. Are you the anchor of the Golden State history defense win? But you could never play quarterback. I think in all sports, the hardest position to play is the NFL quarterback, either the quarterback or the closer in baseball, because everything falls on you. You got to get 3 outs. Everything falls on you as a quarterback. You have to drive the ball down the field. They punt the ball to Patty. It's 22 seconds left. Patty wins the game. They punt the ball to Brady. It's a minute left. He wins the game. You look at these situations. And so is he not clutch? 100% he's not. But is he a bum? I wouldn't call him a bum. I still think Dak is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Is Draymond a top 10 player in the NBA?
That's real, man. That's super real. But it's a lot of what I want to talk to you is about Paulo, man. Paulo Banchero, man. He's struggling. He's kind of hitting a wall where the secret's not the secret's out now. Meaning like they know his game plan. We talk about once they watch film and know how to play, your tendencies, they're gonna match up with you a little different now. And he's struggling, shooting career lows and point average, 3-point percentage, even percentage from twos are low. What do you think about kind of these young players, like even Ja, where they rely so much on being bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic than the competition that maybe though that skill work doesn't get in as it should be, like the Kobe's and the Kyries and the KD's, that skill work. Luckily for Braun, he was able to add those skill sets during his career, which is he don't get enough credit for that. What Braun has, he added all the weaknesses to his game. He like perfected his game while playing. Everybody's not gonna really look in the mirror and say, "Hey, I got to work on this." Why do you think these young players, man, they just kind of hit a wall when now you got to think. Now you got to have a left hand, right hand. When the skill has to meet their game, a lot of these young players fall off. What's your take on that?
Let's just call a spade a spade. In the history of the NBA, there are five pillars. Pillar number one, Michael Jordan. Pillar number two, Kobe Bryant. Pillar number three, LeBron James. Pillar number four, Larry Bird. Pillar number five, Magic Johnson. These pillars, when they got to a certain point in their game, they added things. Magic added more defense. Magic added a jump shot. Magic was just a hook shot and going to the hole, but he added things to his game when he was called Tragic Magic. We remember that series, Tragic Magic, that he lost, and he added to his game that he was able to do more in the basketball court. Larry Bird added to his game. He was a good passer, but he wasn't a great passer. He added to his game, and he started winning more championships. LeBron James added to his game. Kobe Bryant added the left hand, stayed in the gym, added the footwork, off season, practiced with Akeem Olajuwon that he got the dream shakedown. Michael Jordan, they said a lot of things about Mike before he won his first championship. Michael added the weight to his game after keep losing to Detroit. This young game is surely based off of talent. It's not based off of hard work. It's not a lot of hard workers in the NBA. The only hard worker that we really know in the NBA, and you know as much as I do, Prince, is one name that comes out to us, and he has three names in his name. A. Gil Alexander. He
Yeah,
adds to his game. He's just
100%.
like Kobe. They call him Kobe. They say he's young Kobe because he has the footwork. He adds to his defense. He wants to win. Look at who Shea was when he came in the league. They traded him for Kawhi. And when it's all said and done, he's going to be greater than Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard is a three-time champion. But you can't say Kawhi ever won a championship being the number one without major help. I mean, OKC had major help, but not like that Raptors team, not like those Spurs team. You look at what Shea is doing, and he's about to maybe win another one if he wins this year. This is what we have in the league. But you have to understand, this is why, and let's just call a spade, Prince. This is why the overseas talent is better because they stay in the gym. These American players, they at McDonald's. It took what Zion with 4 or 5 years to finally lose weight, and he's a millionaire, hanging out with porn stars and eating double whoppers and triple cheeseburgers, triple C's, triple cheese. I mean, this is what he was doing. So you look at and I'm not a racist towards the American style play, but the European style play, they come from third world countries. They don't have that many McDonald's there. They don't have that many fast food. Them jokers is growing their own food, eating their own food, and look at the pride and health and love of Los Angeles. Luca, Don,
Yeah.
call a spade a spade.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's different, man. Cause you see, like, even not even just European players, like people coming up working on their game, like Josh Giddey, marketing, like all these guys are taking a step. You saw marketing all summer looking like Larry Bird over there in the Euro League. So Giannis is playing on an MVP. Giannis is probably more dominant he's ever been his whole career, which is even crazy to think about. I don't even think Giannis has hit his peak. I think Giannis one year gonna average like 38, 18 and 7. Like, I think Giannis could have one of those insane Michael Jordan type stat lines.
Well, I will say this, Prince. There is one guy, one American guy that's adding to his game, and he's coming. He's coming. Hot take. He's in Philadelphia. His first name is Tyrese.
Yeah, oh
Mr.
yeah.
Maxey,
Oh yeah.
he is a bad
He
Mr.
bad.
Maxey, you a bad man,
He
Maxey.
bad.
I'm not even a Sixers fan, but you keep this up.
Yeah.
We're gonna be putting you in the same complex as Allen Iverson. Keep it up.
Nah,
Keep doing, keep adding to your game. You
he
impress me, Mr. Maxey. You really do.
nah, he a dog, man. He credited James Harden. He was like, "Bro, just get busy." You know what's crazy though? What's crazy with Philly to me is I'm looking at it different where you're looking at big fella MVP and you're automatically thinking we gotta go through him. I think now you put Joel Embiid in the dunker, like which it's kinda been that way. Cause you got McCain, cause Edgecombe, he's a rookie, so he's gonna be up and down with production. You know, he gotta figure the game out a little more, especially now if people game planning for him already. But Maxey's always gonna get his because Embiid had like 22 the other night. 20, Maxey had the most, and Oubre's doing this thing. So they got a squad, man. They got an interesting team where they get the right matchups if they're able to make the playoffs. It's gonna be a long night for the Knicks or any of these teams to play like a healthy Philly squad. They got a deep bench, they're well coached, and they don't got nothing to lose. So
That's true.
we'll see what's going on. But man, what's going on with your boy Jalen Brown, man? The Beijing rubbing up on people white tees, and what should he do, bro? Should he let it go? Like I don't get it because he don't even look bald, so I don't get why his barber doing him like that.
Listen, right now, Jalen don't make. I mean, Brown don't make any sense because when you really look at it, he is not worse than LeBron James. He's not worse than Kevin Durant, but he's literally blacking up everybody's teeth. Let me give you a funny story real quick, man. Real funny story. So sometimes I put a little dye in my beard. And so when I was in Alabama, people come up to the altar for the appeal. And of course, we have to sign the name and stuff like that. People who want to get baptized, because people don't know, I'm a chaplain and I do ministry on the side. So this one lady came up to me crying and she was hugging all on me. And when she left me, remember I put some Beijing in my beard. Her
Mm.
whole shoulder was black.
Oh man,
So I basically did it like Brown. She gave her heart to Jesus, but she had a black shoulder when she left.
man, he leaving his mark. That's
That's what
crazy.
it is.
Ah,
That's
man.
what it is.
No, we appreciate y'all listening, supporting, man. We trying to really grow this YouTube. We really trying to grow this YouTube following, get as much subscribers up as possible, man. We still gonna be dropping content on IG, TikTok here and there, but we're really trying to get this YouTube really thriving, man. We appreciate all the downloads every week, man, from all over the country. It's amazing to see, man. We had over like 5, 6 downloads last episode, man. So keep supporting, keep subscribing, man. We got a whole merch rollout we're coming out with, man. We're getting everything situated with that. So be patient with us. A lot of the sales are going to go to a good cause, Inspired Legacy, Hebrews 13, and to name a few of just causes we care about. So it's not like me and Barty just pocketing the money. We definitely spreading the money around to those in need, especially this holiday season. So we appreciate y'all.
Most definitely, man. Y'all check us out.
Nah, for sure, man. We'll see y'all next time, man. This has been episode 132. We appreciate you. Search internet, chat anywhere possible. All things Prince and Barty, man. Give us a like, give us a follow. We appreciate you, man. Prince and Barty, we're out of here. Episode 132. See you on 133.